Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. This is my first video, so let me introduce myself. I studied mathematics for my bachelor degree and currently pursuing master in artificial intelligence. I've been teaching mathematics for a few years, including IGCSE mathematics, additional mathematics, CIE A-level mathematics, further mathematics. What I realized is that in the past few years, some schools did a good job in teaching math, but some schools did not. So the purpose of having this channel is to make sure everyone, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what the time zone you are in, have the access to the same quality of math teaching resources. Okay, so let's start solving problems. First questions. From this list, write down a multiple of 8. So this is 32. Right, first one, a square number should be 36. A prime number. So prime number should be 37. Okay. So prime number is a number that could only be divided by itself or 1. Right? 32 could be divided by, at least could be divided by 2. 33 could be divided by 3. 34 could be divided by 2. 35 could be divided by 5. 36 could be divided by 3 or 6. Right? 38 could be divided by 2. 39 could be divided by 3. Only 37. It could be divided by 1 or divided by itself, 37. So we said that 37 is a prime number. Number 2, the diagram shows a cuboid. Calculate the volume. So volume is just multiplying all 3 dimensions. So you get 208 cm cube. So 208 here. Number 3, triangle ABC is isosceles. Angle ABC is 32 degree. ABC. So find angle BAC. So this is also 32, right? Since it is isosceles triangle, that AB equals to AC. Okay, so we have angle BAC will equals to 180 minus 32 degree minus 32 degree. So it will be 116 degree. Okay, so angle BAC is 116 degree. A train journey takes 5 hours 45 minutes 54 minutes. The journey starts at 9:15. Find the time that the journey ends. Okay, so it will be 0915 plus 554. So it would be 9614. But we know that for every 60 minutes, it is 1 hour, right? So it minus 60, but plus 1 here, right? Plus 1 minus 60, so it's 1509, right? It's end at 1509. Okay. Average speed of trains for this journey is 18 kilometers per hour. Calculate the distance traveled. So the time, it is given that 1 hour this train can travel for 80 kilometers. So we need to change this into hours. So 5 hours 54 minutes equivalent to 5 point or 5 plus 54 over 60 minutes hour. So this is divided by 6 is 10, divided by 6 is 9, so 9 over 10, 0.9, so it's 5.9 hour. So distance traveled will be 80 times 5.9 equals to 472. Okay, so this is 472 kilometers. Sophia has a bag containing 8 blue bits and 7 red. So 8 blue, 7 red, and 90 times. Replace it means that every time when Sophia is taking out, before she's taking out, every time there will always be 15. Okay, so it will be 7 over 15 times 90. Okay, so out of 15s, 7 out of 15s are red, so 7 over 15 times 90 times. So we have, this is 6, this is 42. Question 6. So when we multiply two numbers with same base, we add their index, right? This is so-called index law or indices law, right? So this p to the power of 6. So when we divide, right, same base, we minus the power, so it's m to the power of 10, right? 15 minus 5, we get 10. So when we have power of power, we multiply them, so we have k to the power of 15. Without using a calculator, work this out. So we have 3 and 1/4 minus 2, 2/3. So 3 1/4, so this is 3 times 4, 12, 12 plus 1 is 13 over 4. 2 times 3, 6, 6 plus 2, we have 8. So make sure they have same denominator so that you can do addition or subtractions. So it's 12. Here I need to times 3 in order to get 12. So here I need to times 3. So we have 39 minus. So this we need to times 4. This into times 4. So this is 12, 32. So we have 7 over 12. Okay, so this is 7 over 12. The bearing of x from y is 274. Calculate the bearing from y of y from x. So to be precise, right, when this thing is less than 180, then the answer here is just this one plus 180. But in this case, this number is greater than 180, then you use this number minus 180 degree, then you will get the answer. So the answer for this question is 274 minus 180 degree, so which is 94 degree. And the reason behind this statement, the reason behind this method is because you can easily, right, see that if we have a bearing, let's say from y, and x is 274, so it's here. So we have a bearing here, right? So this is x. So this is we pointing to north, and this is 274. Okay, but from x, right? From x, if you look at this thing, right? This is the bearing of y from x, right? So this and what is the relationship between this and this angle? 274, this angle. Actually, so if we extend this line, this angle and this angle is the same, right? Because of corresponding angle. These two angle, corresponding angle, right? Because these two lines are parallel. right? These two lines are parallel. Okay, so, and what is the angle here? 180, right? So as we just need to use this number minus this angle, then we get this angle, which is this angle, right? This is when the original bearing is more than 180. So you minus 180 degree, then you get the answer. But when the original bearing is less than 180, let's say x, for example, x is now at 60 degree, right? So this is x. Then for x, right, what is the bearing of y? So the bearing of y from x is here, right? And we look at this 60 degree. If we extend this line, this is also 60 degree, right? So this is 180 degree. So when you add up these two numbers, it will be the bearing of y from x, right? So when this thing is less than 180 degree, we add 180 degree, right? To change the bearing instead of x from y to y from x, right? So that's all for these questions. 94 degree. Calculate the area of sector of a circle with radius 65 millimeters and sector angles 42. Give your answer in square centimeter. Centimeter is cm. This is mm, so be careful of the unit. So it's 42 degree over 360 degree times area. So this is a proportion of the angle of the sector angle out of one round, right? So this is a proportions times the full area. The full area is 6.5, right? This is equal to 6.5 cm centimeter square. So what we get here is 15.5. Okay, we take one significant figures as stated in the instructions on the cover page. 15.5 cm square. Okay. A solid cylinder has radius 3 cm and height 4.5 cm. Calculate the total surface area of the cylinder. So the total surface area of a cylinder is the area of the circle, top and the bottom, and the area of the curved surface, right? So top and bottom we have pi r square, but we have two. One is at the top, one is at the bottom. So we have 2 times pi r square plus the curved surface area, which is pi 2 pi r, the circumference of the base here, the perimeter of the circumference of the circle times the height. Then we have the curved surface. So it's 2 pi r times the height, which is 4.5. So what we get here is roughly 141.3. Okay, 141.3 cm. Y is directly proportional to this. This means that y is directly proportional to x plus 3, and this means that y will equals to k times x plus 3 is cube root. So it is cube root x plus 3 cube root. So when x equals to 5, y equals 2, this information is given to help us figure out, right, what the k is. Okay, so when y equals to 2 over 3, k cube root 5 plus 3. So this is 2 over 3k. This is 8. The cube root of 8 is 2. So k will equals to 1 over 3. Right, k will equals 1 over 3. So find y when x equals to 24. So y will equals to 1 over 3 cube root x plus 3. So when x equals to 24, so equals to, so when x equals to 24, we have y equals to 24 plus 3, 27. Cube root of 27 is 3. 3 times 1, that is 1. Okay. The total perimeter of semicircle is 19.02. Calculate the radius of the semicircle. So semicircle here. And the question doesn't look like semicircle. Okay, never mind. Let me draw by hand. Okay. The perimeter means that this length plus this length, right? We have 19.02. And we know that the diameter will pass through the center of circle. Okay, so we have, this is r, radius, and this is radius. So actually the perimeter is 2r, r plus r, 2r, plus the arc length, which is half of the perimeter of a circle. So we have 2r radius plus, this is 1/2 perimeter, so 2 pi r equals to 19.02. Okay, so actually this is what? This is, you can view it as, if you try to think about this from the perspective of sector, area of sector, then this is actually 180 degree, right? Semicircle is a sector of 180 degree, okay? So 180 degree over 360 times 2 pi r. This is the formula for, not the area, sorry. This is a formula for the arc length. Right, so this is, you cancel, you get 1/2, right? If you try to simplify these fractions, you get 1/2. Okay, so it's exactly the same thing. Right. So finally, if you do some calculations, we have 2r plus pi r equals to 19.02. So factorize the r out. 19.02, the r equals to 19.02 divided by 2 plus r, 2 plus pi. So this is 3.7. Take one significant figures. It should be 3 significant figures. Yeah, it should be 3 significant figures. So it is 3.69. 3.69. Okay, 3.69. Write down the 3 inequalities that define the region R. So this is the region R. So we need to find the line of the equation of this solid line. So for this solid line, if you recall the definition of gradient, right? Y equals to mx plus c. What does this m mean? Let's say m equals to 2. What does this mean? This means that whenever x increases by 1 unit, y will increase by 2 units. For example, n equals to -3. That means when x increases by 1 unit, y will decreases by 3 units because of the negative sign. So if you look at this, right, and increase 1 unit, right, in x, but this point is corresponding to this point, right? So the y increased by 2 units, right? So actually the gradient of this curve, this line is 2. Or you can use the formula of gradient. Let's say this is 0, 1. This is 1, 3. So the gradient of the solid line is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it's 2 over 1, which is 2, right? Same as what we did just now. Okay. And so this line passes through 1. So this is the line where its equation is y equals to 2x plus 1. Okay. And this region R is below this line. So what does this mean? This means that for this line, any point, right, its y values is actually 2x plus 1. It's actually 2 times its x value plus 1. For example, this point, right? This point is the value 2 times the x value here, 0.5 plus 1, right? It is 2, correct? It is 2. Okay, so for the region below this line, let's say for this point, for any point below this point 1, 2, for any point below this 1, 2, this coordinate, the x coordinate does not change. Let's say for this point, right, for this point, this point, this point, all their x coordinates, the x coordinate of all these points is 1, right? So which means, but their y value is less than 2, right? Sorry, the x this is not 1, 2. This is 0.52. This is 0.52. And so the x value here should be 0.5, some value. This should be 1.8, right? But it is less than 2, correct? It's less than the y here, right? Less than the original y. So for this region, it is y less than, right, 2x plus 1. Because 2x plus 1 is the line here. It's the original y, right, of this line. And any line, if we fix this x, right, any point below this point should have a y less than 2, right, which is the original y. Okay, so, but since this is a solid line, so we need to write y less than or equals to, okay, because of the solid line, 2x plus 1. And for this line, it is a horizontal line. Any horizontal line takes this form, y equals to a constant, c or k. Right, so what is this? This is 1.5. So this line, we call it, the equation of this line is y equals to 1.5. Okay. Why the equation of a horizontal line take this form, y equals to a constant? Because for any point, a line is formed by infinitely many points, right? But no matter which point on this line, we'll have the y coordinate equals to 1.5. For example, this one, this is 1, 1.5. For example, this one, this is 2, 1.5. For example, this one, this is 1.5, 1.5, right? If let's say I have a moving point, right? I have a moving point on this line, the y won't change, right? You only see that the x is changing, right? The x coordinate is changing. Okay, so the y is fixed at 1.5 for this line. So the equation for this line is y equals to 1.5. Okay, but it's above this region R is above this line, so it's greater than, right? For any point above this line, the y value will be greater than 1.5, right? For example, for this point, the y value is 2. For example, for this point, the y value is 1.65. Maybe 1.65. Okay, it's greater than 1.5. So this is y greater than equals to, because it is a solid line, right? 1.5. Okay, the third line, we have dotted lines. So need to find the equation of this line. This is 4. This is 4. Means that when x increased by 4, the y decreased by 4. Right, from 4 to 0, decreased by 4. And so the gradient is -1. Or we can use the formula. Gradient is, this point is 4, 0. This point is 0, 4. Using the formula, it will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it is -1, right? Which is same as what we did just now. So the gradient of this line is -1 and pass through 4. So this line, we call it y equals to m. M is -1, but -1 times x is -x plus c, 4. Okay, but it's below this line, so it's y less than. And it's dotted line, so don't write a equal sign. Strictly less than, -8 plus 4. Or you can rewrite this equation as x plus y less than 4. Okay, doesn't matter. Find acceleration. Acceleration is change of speed in unit time. If you take this acceleration as a scalar, but acceleration actually it could be a vector, but that is not in IG Math syllabus. That is about kinematics. You learned accelerations in vector form in IGCSE additional math last chapter. So we take this acceleration to be a scalar, right? It's a change of speed, which is also scalar in unit time. So according to this definition, it will be final speed minus initial speed divided by time taken, delta t. Okay, so for the first 40 seconds, so the final speed is here, 12, minus initial speed 0 divided by time taken, 40 seconds. Right, so 40, so it's 12 over 40, so divided by 4 is 3, divided by 4 is 10, so it's 0.3. Okay, so this is actually, you can m over s squared, and you can view it as m, you can s -1 s, right? So it is a change of speed in unit time, in 1 second, right? Calculate the distance between two stations. So distance, this is a speed time graph. Distance is just the area under the curve, right? It's just area under the curve. So for this shape, this is a trapezium, right? You can calculate each portion separately and add them up, but it's much more faster if you could realize that this is a trapezium and apply the formula of area for trapezium, right? So this is 210, right? 250 minus 40, so it's 210, plus here is 300 times height, which is 12. And what you get here is 3060. Okay, so it's 3060 meters. Calculate an estimate of the mean. Okay, so this is a group data, so you need to find the midpoint. Midpoint for this the first class, or we call it first group, is 10. This is 22.5. The midpoint for this class is 30. The midpoint for this class is 42.5. The midpoint for this class is 70.5. Okay, so the mean, right? The mean will be 10 or 21 times 10, right? Summation fx plus 16 times 22.5 plus 6 times 30 plus 10 times 42.5 plus 7 times 75 divided by all these add up, which is 60 given by the questions. So this will be 28.3, three significant figures. 28.3. Patty and Anna each invest 2,000 for 5 years. Patty earns simple interest at rate of 1.25, so simple interest 1.25. Anna earns compound interest of R%. At the end of 5 years, their investments have the same values. So the interest, right? Interest that Patty earned is PRT, principal times the rate. Rate is 1.25, but percent means divided by 100, 100 times 5 years. So, which is, you get $125. And so after 5 years, Patty investment is equivalent to her principal plus the interest earned, 125, equivalent to Anna interest. Anna interest, according to a formula of compound interest. For compound interest, it is P times 1 plus. So there is a 1 plus here, means what? Means that this whole thing that we calculate here, including the principal. Okay, what we calculate here is only interest. It's only interest. So you need to add the principal manually. Okay, but here you don't need, right? So this is R%, so it's R over 100 divide to the power of 5. Okay, so let's see, we have 1 plus R over, okay, so 1 plus R over 100 equals to 2,000 plus 125 divided by 2,000. But I need to take a fifth root. So let's see, what should this be? Calculator, square root. Oh no, this is fifth root. Okay, so R equals to, this one you put the left hand side, so it is this values, right? This values 2125 divided by 2,000 fifth root minus 1 and times 100, right? So finally you will get 1.219. So take three significant figures is 1.22. Okay, 1.22. 17th, the diagram shows the shape, they are mathematical similar. Okay, similar shaped, right? For example, what is these questions, we need to understand the relationship between the scale factor of site and the scale factor of area. So for example, for any shape, for example, let's look at triangle, right? Look at the triangle. Let's say we assume these two triangles are similar shape, and this triangle, the side here, the side length here is 10, and the height here is 6. So let's say they are similar, so their corresponding side will be in the same ratio. Let's say this is 20, so of course this will be 12. The ratio, right? This is twice of this two, the corresponding sides. And so the area will equals to what? 10 times 6 divided by 2, so which is 30. Area of this smaller triangle, area of the larger triangle is 20 times 12 divided by 2, so it's 120. So you see, when right? When the scale factor of side is 2, then the scale factor of area is 2 square, which is 4. 30 times 4 is 120. And so this is what? Here. And the reason why the square here is, this is because from here to here times 2, because of the scale factor of the side. And here, this one times this one times another 2 again, right? So 2 times 2 is 2 square. All right. So let's find out the ratio between the area, right? The ratio between area. So let's say we have a shape. In other words, let's say you are given that a triangle, right? Let's say this is 10 cm square, and tell you there's a similar triangle. We are given that this is a similar triangle, and tell you that this is 40 cm square. So what is the scale factor of the line? We call it linear scale factor. So if this is A, if this length is A, this will be 2A. How do we know? How do we know, right? Because we know that this 40 cm should be the original times the scale factor SF to the power of 2. So scale factor will equals to 40 divided by 10, take a square root. So square root 4 should be 2. Okay, so if this is A, this is twice of A. All right, so in other words, from here, we can see that 40 over 10 equals to scale factor square, right? And scale factor is what? Scale factor is the corresponding side, right? It's corresponding side 2A over A. Scale factor of the side. So we see what? The ratio of area is square of the ratio of corresponding side. Okay, so we have ratio of the area 134.4 equals to the ratio of the corresponding side. Corresponding side is M8. So this is M8 to the power of 2. Okay, so we have M will equals to square root 52.5 divided by 134.4 times 8. And by using calculator, we know that this is 5. Okay. This is completing a square. Completing a square. So completing a square, the idea of completing a square is actually from this formula, a plus b square equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square. All right. So for example, I have x squared plus 4b, right? How do I make this thing as a complete square? Now, if I take a to be x, and so this the b is a b here, right? Oh, sorry, this is not b, this is x, right? So a is x, so the a here is x, so which means that the 2b is 4. In order to make this thing as a complete square, I need to plus a b square, and b is half of 2b, right? So we take half of 4, we take a 2, right? Half of 4, we take a 2, and add a square, right? But we cannot suddenly add a term. This will change the value of whole thing. So we need to minus it back to maintain the balance. So this is x. The first three terms will give me this one, x plus a plus b to the complete square, minus 4. Okay, so the core idea is that we need to add a term that is half of this number, which is the coefficient of the x term, and we, right, and then square it, and then minus the whole term back. So x squared minus 18x minus 27 equals to x squared minus 18x plus half of 18, 9 square. Don't forget the square here, and minus the 9 square back, and originally there's a negative 27. So first three terms will give me a minus b, right, to the complete square. Okay, a minus b square is a square minus 2ab plus b square. Okay, if it is plus, then here is plus. Okay, so this negative 81, negative 27, so it's negative 108, right? It's negative 108. Okay, so it will be x minus 9 square minus 108. Use your answer to part A, solve this thing. So if you try to observe, this is what we have seen in part A. So this will be x minus 9 square minus 108 equals to 0. Okay, right? So we have x minus 9 square will equals to 108. So x minus 9 will equals to plus minus square root 108. Okay, so x will equals to, move this 9 to another side. So positive 9 plus minus. So we have two roots, right? We have 9 plus 1 square root 108 and 9 minus square root 108. And calculate this by using your calculator. So one of them will be 19.4, and the second answer will be negative 1.39. Take three significant figures. Okay, just to be careful, x squared equals to 5, x should equal to plus minus square root 5. Okay, unless this x represents something that must be positive. If x is just a unknown or variable, then x should have two roots, positive and negative roots. But if x represents length or distance or whatever that couldn't be negative, then we should only take the positive roots. But in this case, x does not represent anything, so we should have two roots. In mathematics, in a class of 40 students, 28 wear glasses, 13 have driving lessons, 2 do not wear glasses and do not have driving lessons. So G is those is the set of the students who wear glasses. Okay, so do not and do not means 4 here, right? Okay, and So total class we have 40. The total student in the class we have 40. So the remaining student 36 means that these three numbers should add up to 36. Okay. 28 wear glasses does not mean that these 28 students only wear glasses. No. These 28 include those who only wear glasses, but also include those students who wear glasses and have drawing students. Means that these two numbers add up to 28. And the same things applies to this 13th. So these two numbers add up to 13th. And we know that these three numbers should add up to 36. So if we try to add up these two numbers, the middle one has been added twice, right? So let's say if we call it the middle one at x, so if we use 28 plus 13 minus x, this whole thing will make sure these three numbers have only been added for one times, okay? Because we minus x here, which should equal to 36. So x here should equal to 41 minus 36, which is 5. So here should be 5. Then these two should be 28. So 28 minus 5, 23. 13 minus 5, 8. Okay, so that's all for this questions. Use the set notation to describe the region that contains a total of 32 students. 32 students. 30 students means here, correct? 40 minus 8, we get the remaining 32. So how should we describe this? Set notations. So it should be either in the set G, okay, but not in the set D, right? But not in the set D. So union D complement. Okay, set G union D complement. All right. So if we have asked you to describe using set notation to describe this set, this will be what? This will be G. In G but not in D. I mean, yes, in G but not in D, right? So G at the same times intersect the inverse, D complement. Okay, so you need to be careful of the differences between these two. Okay. All right, then oh no, this is in G but not in D. This should be, sorry, this is here. Right, this region is this one. Okay, this region is this one. So if you just want this is just exactly G itself, okay? So, made a mistake here. And how about this region? This region is in D but not in G. So it's D intersect G complement. Okay. So let's look at part B. This Venn diagram shows information about the number of students who play basketball, football, and hockey. So B union F means that in B or F, right? In B or F. Okay, union means or in English, means or. Intersect at the same times, not in G, not in H, right? H complement means not in H. So not in H means what? Here, okay? Not in H, right? So add this three number up, 2 plus 7 plus 6, so it's 15th. this is a number, right? Shade the region P union. So when you see union, it must have P, okay, the whole P. And Q intersect R, so Q intersect R is here, but this is complement, so not here, right? Not here, so which is here, union, right? Union everything that is not here, okay? So it's like this, okay? You shade all the region except this region, okay? 20. The diagram shows a pyramid with a square base A, B, C, D, diagonals AC and BD intersect at M. So for a square, right, this you need to understand the properties of a square. Properties of a square. For a square, the diagonal will intersect at 90 degrees, and also there will be, this point is the midpoint of the diagonal. Is that this length equals to this length, and this length equals to this length. In fact, these four have the same length. Okay, these four have the same length, actually. Alright, so calculate the angle AV make with the base. So what we want is this angle. What we want is this angle. Okay, so we are given AV, so as long as we could find AM, right, then we can use cosine to solve it. So AM is here, right? This is A, B, C, D. This is M. So this is half of the diagonal. And the diagonal we can calculate by using Pythagoras theorem, looking at this triangle. Pythagoras theorem, right? So AC will equals to AC square will equals to AB square, and this 11 is 11 because it's a square, right? It's a square, we have four sides being equal. So 11 square plus 11 square, so AC will equals to square root, because AC is length, right? So we just take the positive root. 11 square root 2. And so AM is half of this thing, right? AM is half of AC, so it's half times 11 square root 2, so which is 11 square root 2 over 2. So the angle will be cosine theta, let's say this is theta, will be 11 square root 2 over 2 over 18.6. So theta will be arc cosine 11 square root 2 over 2, and then so this will be 37.2. Okay, so what we have here, using your calculator, 11 square root 2 divided by 37.2. So this is 65.28. So we take three significant figures, so 65.3. For angle, we take, for angle in degree, we take one decimal place, stated in the instruction on the cover page. So O is the origins, and OPQR is a parallelogram. SOP is a straight line with SO. SO equals to OP. So which means that if this is B, then this is B. Okay, and TRO is a straight line with TR, so this is also B. This is also B. STV is a straight line, and ST for vectors, okay, for vectors it does not have positions. which means that if this direction is called B, no matter how I move this vector, I move it here, move it here, move it here, move it here, it is still B. Okay, so since it is parallelogram, means that these two are parallel, means that if this is B, this is also B. Okay, so STV is a straight line and ST to TV 2 to 1. 2 to 1. Okay, so OR is A. OR is A, okay, and OP is B. Find in terms of A and B in the simplest form, position vector of T. So position vector of T means OT. OT means OR plus RT, right? From O to T, I can passing through, we can go through R, right? From O to T, we will pass through R. So O to T, R is our intermediate station, right? So this is OR is A, RT is this direction, right? B is going upper right, so RT is going lower left, so it should be negative B. Okay, opposite directions, negative B. Negative B. And RV from R to V, from R to V we can go this way, right? So RV equals to RT plus TV, and RT is negative B. TV is what? TV is half of ST, right? Half of ST. 1 is half of 2, right? So TV is half of ST. So half of ST. ST is what? ST is OR, same as OR, right? So it is small a. So it's negative B plus 1/2 A. Okay, show that PT is parallel to RT. To show two vectors are parallel, you just need to show that one of the vector could be written as a constant times another vectors, right? So if you could write PT equals to some constant times RV, then we are done, right? Some constant, then this will prove that they are parallel. So PT is from P to T, right? So from P to T it is PQ plus QT. So PQ is A, QT is going down for twice, so it's negative 2B, going B for twice, right? Going negative B for twice. Okay, so and RV is this thing. So as long this is it, we factorize out a, this is 1/2 coefficient of A, this is 1, so we factorize out a 2. Okay, factorize out 2, this become negative B. Factorize out the 2, this become 1/2 A. Why we do something like this? Because this is this, which is RV. So this is 2 times RV. So as long as we can prove that this equals to a constant times RV, then we can say that PT is parallel to RV. Okay, so we are done. Alright, so that's all for this paper. Hopefully this paper helped in your preparations, your exam preparations, preparation for the May exam in coming weeks. Alright, that's all for today. See you. Bye.